Hey guys and girls, welcome back. This is going to be kind of a, not a square body school, but maybe a tire and wheel school. And it had never really dawned on me to do this video because some things we just think past. That's why I always ask you guys, if you've got an idea for a video or something you'd like to learn more about, don't hesitate to ask. I don't always have the time to do it. And I'm sure I'm going to say something a touch wrong or off because I'm going to do this off the cuff. We just literally thought about it this morning. But I was sitting down last night. My little 2-year-old wanted to watch Dada on TV. So we started watching some YouTube. And my better half was sitting beside us. And she was doing some work on her computer. And one of the videos came up where Daniel was talking about the Davis Off-Road DOR wheel. And he started spitting off numbers. And she literally looked at me and stopped and said, "What does all those numbers mean? I hear you say them all the time." And I was like, I didn't even know what numbers she was talking about. So I had to back up and figure out. So he was saying 6 by 5.5, 5 by 5.5, 8 by 6.5. Those are lug patterns. I'm going to lose some of you guys right now because you're like, I already know all this. But this is kind of interesting for your younger guys watching because you may not know this. And some of the older guys or some of the guys that don't deal with wheels and tires might not know this. So it's a little education for you. Those numbers are lug pattern and lug spacement. And also we talked about some widths. So we scrolled further and she was like, what are those numbers? So we talked about some widths. So I'm going to explain a couple things to you guys, kind of dumb it down. But when I was coming along and doing trucks, I didn't have to learn this stuff because I was a Chevy guy and there was 6 lug and there was 8 lug. There was nothing else. There were no other patterns. Now Ford guys, you got 5 lug, I understand. And car truck guys, you got some different stuff. So Chevrolet had a 5 lug in a 2-wheel drive, 6 lug in a 4-wheel drive, or 8 lug in a 4-wheel drive, or 2-wheel drive if it was heavy duty. And yes, if you go back far enough, a 2-wheel drive Chevrolet actually was 6 lug. So we didn't have any other patterns. It was all standard. It was 8 by 6.5 that fit every Chevy, every Ford, every Dodge. And then we had 6 by 5.5, which fit every Chevy, Toyota, Nissan. It covered everything. So if you had a 6 lug wheel back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, it fit everything. Same with an 8 lug wheel. There were no variances to that. So in 1999, we were lifting our first Super Duty in 99, and it was a 99 Super Duty. And of course, I called. I was doing the ordering at the time, ordered wheels, tires, had them shipped, ready to go. We didn't even mount and balance our tires back then. I ordered them put together. We go to put them on the truck. They didn't fit. That's when Ford switched to metric. They threw a curveball. 2011, Chevrolet switched to metric. Not the same as Ford. Another curveball. Remember that when it happened too. Same situation. Had wheels. We're ready to go. Didn't work. Thought it was going to be a Super Duty wheel. Didn't work. So they changed too. 8 by 170, 8 by 180. They went metric. So let's back up and I'll explain this. Come over here, Christian. So this wheel here, just because I know what it is a 6 by 5.5. That's a Chevrolet stretched, widened, custom rally wheel. That wheel should have only been this wide. We had it stretched and widened to that wide. Custom built that way. Now we've powder coated it, and I've got a few sets of these for some projects. So that's the 6 part. 6 bolts, 6 lug nuts, whatever you want to call it. And then I believe the technical way is skip 1, center 1, go to the edge of 1. So somewhere in this neighborhood, we got the 5.5. Again, that's the way I was always told. We cheat a little bit because we have spacers in stock. So the spacer is stamped 6 by 5.5. So the easiest way for us to tell is just to slam it in the back. If it fits, it fits. Now there's a 6 by 135, which fits a Ford. They look the same. They're only a touch off. We've even seen guys drill it out. You can't do that. That's not safe. Don't do it. But past that, the wheel manufacturers got smart. I just noticed this. Pretty cool. Come around back. They went to a dual drilled wheel. Now, I don't know if this is a 5 lug. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess that's a 6. Dual drilled 6. 2 different patterns. So one wheel fits two different applications, Chevy and Ford. Toyota, Nissan, they made some changes. They went to some metric stuff. The Tundra went weird. Pretty sure it went one way, then it came back the other. The next thing that you've got is measurements of wheels. So you hear some guys say, I got 1514s, very popular wheel for us. 1516s, very unusual but popular wheel for us. That's going to take the measurement first number across. Now, you're going to say that's a 16. Anybody measuring that's going to be like, I got a 16-inch wheel. People on Facebook and Craigslist always advertising wrong. I got a 16-inch wheel. It's actually a 15-inch wheel. You go from the bead lip to the bead lip. So you got 15. Now this, like again, this tape measure is a little whacked up. Actually, it's magnetic. That's pretty cool. Something my uncle has built here, maybe. So 15. The other's width. Okay, what do you guys think? That's a 15-inch wheel, right? 15 wide, 15 diameter. Nope. Again, you got to move it. It's a 14. So first number is always going to be diameter. Second number is going to be width. Another misconception is a 40, 15, 50, 15, and they say, I want to go bigger, meaning they think they're going to get their tire bigger by going to a 40, 15, 50, 20. And that's not also true. The 40 is the height. That does not change. The 1550 is the width. That does not change. The part that does change is the cutout of the tire. So if this was a 40, 15, 50, 15, it would have a ton of extra sidewall, which it does not. A 20 or 22, whatever that is, that's still a decent amount of sidewall. But when you start talking about 35-inch tires and 22s and 24s and 26s, you're shrinking that sidewall down to next to nothing. And your ride quality goes to crap. And just to throw a real curveball, let's go to something good. No, I don't really have anything. I was going to try to do a metric to show you guys. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. But again, you could take this wheel here. Looks like it's a 21.5. It's actually a 20. And it has been custom stretched. And it is 18 inches wide. Or 17.5. When you stretch them, they can do whatever. So, bolt pattern, diameter, width, metric stuff. It's hard to buy something off Facebook or Craigslist, guys, unless you really take all your information with you. Take a spacer with you. That's one of the best things we have. We try to get a spacer of every size over there in our building. And that's how we check them and double check them. And believe it or not, at one time, we had so many takeoff tires and wheels, I could have filled this building. We literally had Connexes full, parking lot full, across the street full, buildings full. And why? Because of the fact that when we were rolling with the lifted truck stuff, not only was the shop lifting 2, 3, 4 trucks a day, which they still do, but a lot of them were for the car lot. They'd come in with kind of crappy worn tires, and we'd add some lift and go bigger. So I'd pull off some tires. So I had used tires, new tires. It was unbelievable. And when chrome was popular, the chrome would peel, and I'm not going to be able to sell a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 truck with a peeling set of wheels. So we were replacing wheels. Then black wheels got popular. Then aluminum wheels got popular again. We've been through some generational changes in our 48 years of trends, which leads to, this is just one building full of some stuff that we've pulled off, but lots more that we will be bringing for sale is where I was going with this. Nothing wrong with these. It's just like that truck that those were on got lowered. These are for a special build. These are for a special build. These were removed, and a different style tire and wheel was put on it a little bit bigger because they were too small. Those behind it were removed because they were kind of a small sidewall. They're 26s. Went with a 20. Lots of different things. Those were removed, and they're pretty much brand spanking new, but went bigger with this truck and wider and deeper offset. So more over there. Lots of stock trucks that we still lift in the shop for the dealership, so we get a lot of takeoffs. Hopefully that's helpful. I couldn't tell you the bolt pattern on a Sherp. I couldn't tell you the bolt pattern on that military MOG thing over there. everything has a bolt pattern, even this holster here, which probably is more valuable because Whistling Diesel made a video about one of these the other day. So price probably went up. They might have got more popular. I guarantee the search engines went up because that guy's got some following. But anyway, thanks, guys. Hopefully that helps. A little tire and wheel knowledge, and I explained it last night, so it's kind of fresh on my mind, and glad she was curious as to what that was, not just a bunch of numbers. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned.